10 things we hope to see with Grand Theft Auto 6's gameplay. What new things are we hoping to see? Coming at number 1, better vehicle physics. As with any Grand Theft Auto title, vehicle physics are an integral component of how you traverse through the open world. Majority of the things you are doing, whether it is going from mission to mission or just free roaming in general, involves driving a vehicle. Now, I'd say most people would tend to agree that Grand Theft Auto 5's driving physics were very good and a lot of people did like it. However, it did sort of lose the charm of the vehicle physics of Grand Theft Auto 4, which felt much more heavier and more weighty. The handling felt grounded but sometimes sluggish and not as responsive, especially when you were steering around corners. There was also the negative reception from fans which felt that it was quite boaty and very difficult to handle, especially at high speeds. Compared to Grand Theft Auto 5's driving physics, which felt much more arcadey, less realistic, and you're able to handle your vehicles at high speeds much more better. It's easier to pick up and play Grand Theft Auto 5 and drive around and go into police pursuits compared to GTA 4. It's much more fun, I would say, from that perspective. So the solution for GTA 6 should be to give the vehicles much more realistic weight and suspension, but still responsive enough for high-speed chases and chaotic action, especially during police chases, free roaming, and races. Rockstar should try and focus on trying to create much more of a visceral experience, make it fun and realistic, but to the point where it's not punishing for the player. Rockstar should focus on reintroducing vehicle weight and momentum. In GTA 4, for example, you could feel the inertia of turning sharply in a heavy SUV. Compared to a sports car, it was completely different. To make sure that GTA 6 is the most advanced game in terms of driving physics, the best thing would be to focus much more so on this element in terms of simulating mass grip and even tire friction much more accurately. Even things such as advanced suspension and terrain response. You think of things like driving through various types of difficult terrain, whether it is driving over sand, grass, or even waterlogged roads, should affect control, traction, and acceleration. You think about the various types of locations that we are going to be seeing in GTA 6, for example, the grass rivers. Trudging through difficult terrain such as the swampy wetlands of the Everglades should feel difficult and should vary from vehicle to vehicle. For example, as you can see with this shot, you can see the NPCs are utilizing these SUVs to trudge through this difficult terrain in the grass rivers. These off-roaders and 4x4s should be able to handle it decently, especially with lifted suspensions or modifications. You can also see an airboat in the far distance as well, which is necessary for deeper waters. It could be used in various missions with Jason and Lucia. There was that one leaked gameplay clip where we did see Jason on an airfield with an airboat. But in terms of the driving physics, all in all, I think Rockstar should really focus on striking a balance between GTA 4's realistic driving physics and GTA 5's arcadiness. This would make it fun but still realistic at the same time. Coming in number 2, improved weather system. A deeply immersive and reactive weather system is something that we all want to see within Grand Theft Auto 6. Considering the game is set to take place in the fictional Florida, that being Leonardo, which is known to be quite tropical, we should expect Rockstar to make improvements to the weather system based off the geographical location that we are going to be seeing. Dynamic, unpredictable weather events should be a focus from Rockstar's perspective. We should be seeing things like sudden changes like tropical storms rolling in, potentially even hurricanes or even cyclones. There is also the potential that other severe weather conditions that can affect gameplay, such as flash flooding, which can temporarily make certain roads impassable or alter terrain. We know that in one of the screenshots that Rockstar provided of Mount Caligan National Park, we see this NPC kayaking, and to the left there's this sign that says flood gauge, and you can see at the moment it's currently below 2. This could mean that the water levels could rise depending on what occurs throughout the open world as you progress throughout the story, and even just dynamic world events in general. So rising water levels and flooding could be an element that Rockstar could implement, which can affect gameplay. Maybe, for example, we can't traverse through this location because of flooding and we have to make an altered decision and create an alternative path to progress through. We should also see weather impact gameplay when we are driving our vehicles on road, especially during extreme weather conditions like a thunderstorm. We should see wind and other elements impact our ability to handle the vehicle. A leak from Rockstar Mag back in October of 2023 did claim that installing a spoiler on your vehicle, for example, may prove useful for your handling during gusty storms. So if true, that's an absolutely incredible attention to detail, because in GTA 5, for example, when you do install a spoiler, it doesn't necessarily impact your gameplay. When you drive through a thunderstorm, your spoiler doesn't really do anything other than just look good from a cosmetic standpoint. So the fact that these improvements made to the realistic side of the game in terms of installing a spoiler is going to impact your gameplay during a thunderstorm is a really cool attention to detail and is going to vastly improve our overall experience when driving. How about flying during extreme weather conditions like a thunderstorm? Rockstar could really focus on the attention to detail here, making it extremely difficult to fly in these conditions. Maybe we see strong gusts of wind impacting our ability to control the aircraft. And based off the intensity, this could change our mid-flight experience, making it much more harder to maintain a stable path. Not only this, but also imagine flying through storm clouds that could cause sudden drops in altitude. Would make it a thrilling experience, that's for sure. Rockstar could even take it a step further with attention to detail, focusing on things such as during a thunderstorm, which could trigger mid-air emergencies such as potential engine failures, flap/control surface malfunctions, radio blackouts, or loss in navigation systems. By Rockstar focusing on these aspects, it would definitely add a layer of immersion and would increase the tension up in the air, that's for sure. As well as making it so much more challenging, perhaps maybe we have to be a little bit more strategic about how we go about certain things, especially when we are flying up in the air during extreme weather conditions. How about NPCs' reactions to different types of weather? NPCs should behave differently depending on the conditions. For example, like with Grand Theft Auto 4, you would see NPCs using umbrellas, wearing ponchos, or taking cover during storms. Perhaps maybe Rockstar could take it even a step further with increased traffic accidents or even slower traffic during rain, or potentially even power outages affecting lights, ATMs, and stores. Based off various patterns that Take-Two have filed in terms of an open world simulation title that points to Grand Theft Auto 6. The pattern goes into detail and describes things such as NPCs adjusting their speed based on weather severity and even changing their behavior based on factors like time of day and road types. For example, during a storm, NPCs might run for cover or drivers might slow down based on the weather conditions. So it seems like NPCs are going to have unique behaviors based on their characteristics and the environment around them. So this is where we could see AI implementation within Grand Theft Auto 6 with this pattern. Coming in number 3, AI-driven random events. One aspect Rockstar really took it up a notch with Red Dead Redemption 2 from Grand Theft Auto 5 were the random events. One example is, as you can see on screen here, is rescuing this woman here by lifting up this horse, bringing her to safety, and then taking her into town. And how about another example being presented with the task of sucking snake venom out of an NPC's leg? Yes, you heard that right, that was a random event within Red Dead 2. But this time around, Rockstar could step it up a notch once again by introducing AI-driven random events, which could be one of the most exciting areas where Rockstar could really push the boundaries of open world immersion. Instead of scripted set pieces or static side missions, Rockstar could implement this feature where it wouldn't be the same outcome for everyone. That was the one complaint that a lot of people did have about Red Dead 2, was the fact that these random events for the most part did result in the same outcome. So by implementing procedurally generated events initiated by NPCs or the environment triggered by time, weather, location, player actions, or even just pure randomness, would add to the immersion and the overall realistic side of the game. Based off what Rockstar have provided in the screenshots, trailer 2, trailer 1, we've already seen glimpses of this. In one of the Vice City screenshots, we see this, what appears to be likely a random event, and you see these cops chasing after these criminals. Maybe as Jason and or Lucia, we could get involved to some degree within this altercation. Now, this is me theorizing here. Some ways we could interact in this situation is perhaps maybe help out the police by intervening in this shootout, blocking a getaway car, tackling or shooting a fleeing suspect, or using non-lethal options such as tasers, zip ties, or something along those lines to take down the criminals and help the police officers. Or perhaps maybe on the flip side of the coin, we help the criminals by distracting or killing a pursuing officer, or even providing a getaway vehicle. These events could start and evolve in complex AI-driven ways with procedurally generated scenarios and branching possibilities. Just an example, of course, but I think this could really add a layer of immersion and really improve the overall experience when interacting with NPCs during random events. You talk to an NPC for a bit of time, and then you have to be tasked with a mission to help them out with something. And in other scenarios, there's been many examples where you just have to take them from point A to point B, which gets quite repetitive and boring. So Rockstar implementing some type of AI-driven random events would really add to the overall experience. And if they are implemented and executed properly by Rockstar, because they would be procedurally generated, no two scenarios from person to person would ever be the same. Coming in number 4, better stealth mechanics. The stealth mechanics in GTA 5 are very bare bones. There's not really much you can do about it. Rockstar only implemented very basic features as you're seeing here on screen. When pressing the left analog stick on your controller, all you do is go into stealth mode and knock them out from behind, and pretty much most of the time the same animation plays out. It gets quite repetitive and it's not very intuitive at all whatsoever. It's very, very basic. There was lack of depth in GTA 5 stealth mechanics. It was more of a gimmick than really a system. You move slowly, press the button for a takedown, and that was really about it. There was no visibility system, no meaningful noise mechanics, no gadgets or tools specifically designed for stealth. Not only this, but the controls were clunky. I mean, stealth mechanics like this, as you're seeing, were sometimes unresponsive or context sensitive, leading to awkward moments and trying to sneak behind an enemy NPC. And there's no integration with GTA's world with these stealth mechanics compared to the Hitman titles, where you can use the environments around you, such as disposing bodies in containers and stuff. That makes it much more interesting when trying to navigate for a mission. The stealth felt like an afterthought. It was barely supported by systems or even mission design. It lacked a lot of clarity, flexibility, and even purpose. It kind of felt like it came from a completely different and older era of design. So in GTA 6, this should be completely overhauled with a dedicated stealth system, not just crouching or a silent takedown like we've seen in previous Grand Theft Auto games. Implement a stealth stance with smoother transitions similar to RDR2 or even games like Splinter Cell. Playing as criminals like Jason and Lucia, we are likely going to be entering into locations where trespassing won't be allowed and stealth mechanics should take lead. We know based off the September 22 leaks that there are going to be locations with CCTV and surveillance cameras. The leaks do mention a CCTV system and a CCTV detection meter. This would radically elevate the gameplay experience, especially during heist, infiltrations, or espionage style missions as Lucia and Jason. Rockstar has already dipped their toes with this in surveillance with the Cayo Perico heist in Grand Theft Auto Online. But how about a realistic CCTV system with visible cameras, red lights, motion tracking, and vision cones that can be toggled in detective/stealth view mode? Rockstar should include advanced systems within these CCTV cameras with fixed and rotating cameras, different quality levels, so cheap ones with grainy feeds and military grade ones with thermal ones, just like you see in real life in government facilities. We also know based off the leaks that Lucia has a skill in hacking and she utilizes equipment such as a tracker jammer, immobilizer bypass, a USB drive, and an auto dialer. To me, these do sound like tools to counter CCTV, such as like a tracker jammer, signal jammer, like perhaps maybe this could be portable or throwables that disable surveillance in a small radius when we do enter into a location where we're not meant to be trespassing. I do feel like these are going to be for missions where we have to utilize stealth much more so this time around compared to previous Grand Theft Auto titles, and we've already seen examples of this. One example being I did cover in a leaked video yesterday. Story spoiler alert, if you need to switch off, all means do so. Apparently there is a mission where Lucia goes up against a bodybuilder gang after doing a heist connected to an airport, and she goes undercover and is betrayed and attacked. And we see this within trailer 2 where the bodybuilder tackles Lucia outside of this aeroplane. And it does appear to be that Lucia is undercover wearing a high-vis vest. So this points to the idea that we are likely going to be having some stealth mechanics incorporated based on the fact that this leak claims that she is undercover. So utilizing tools such as a tracker jammer is going to make sense when we are going to be entering into an airport, which would most likely have a CCTV system. So by Rockstar improving the stealth mechanics in GTA 6 by integrating stealth with robust CCTV systems could bring tactical depth, mission flexibility, non-linearity, real-world immersion, greater tension, and player choice. And hopefully this does also mean as well that when we do go into a stealth type mission, that we have much more player freedom and choice before we even start about what our approach is going to be. Coming in number 5, improved combat mechanics. The combat mechanics in GTA 5, whether armed or unarmed, was a significant downgrade from GTA 4. And to be honest, it really sucked. A lot of one-dimensional mechanics. A lot of the times, the same sequence of animations would play out. It would get quite repetitive and boring. There was no specific type of combos, grapples, submissions, or even basic variety in animations. There was no weight or impact. The hits felt floaty with little animation feedback or variation. NPCs didn't even react realistically to being hit, and once you do hit them down onto the ground, you knock them out, it pretty much most of the time looks like they've just been killed. It really didn't make sense whatsoever. These unarmed fights had no tension once you got the rhythm going. You couldn't even utilize the environment around you, whether it is picking up a brick or a coffee cup from the ground and throwing it at someone like you could in GTA 4. It's stuff like this that made Grand Theft Auto 4 so much fun and very interesting, where you were able to interact with the environment around you. I'm sorry, but GTA 4's combat mechanics were significantly better than 5's. I mean, look at the difference here in terms of the animation sequences that do play out. It's so much more interesting and much more varied compared to GTA 5's basic animation sequence system. Now, with Grand Theft Auto 6, from an unarmed combat perspective, Rockstar really need to go beyond just button mashing and introduce a full combat system overhaul. I'm thinking introducing combo-based melee with light and heavy attacks, counters, grabs, and finishes, even adding a stamina bar or combat meter to encourage pacing, as well as including contextual takedowns such as slamming enemies into objects, walls, or railings. And we've already seen this with a brief snippet in trailer 2 where Jason slams this guy into this car window. It's things like this, utilizing the environment around us to make everything so much more immersive and realistic. With Rockstar implementing features like this, it's going to make takedowns much more varied. And we also know based off the recent info that Rockstar has provided with Lucia, for example, that she appears to have some skill in cage fighting. So to me, this does point to the idea that we are likely going to be having different different fighting styles. In this case for Lucia, she's going to be having skills in cage fighting. This would really improve the combat unarmed and would allow for tactical depth and even possibly grabs, throws, submissions, or ground fighting like in MMA. This may also mean as well, and this is just me speculating here, that we may see the return of boxing from GTA San Andreas as well as Kung Fu. It definitely would be great to see these return within Grand Theft Auto 6, that's for sure. But now I'm going to pass it over to the Ketch to continue with the rest of the video.
Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Thanks Project Vice for having me back on the channel. And now this is my part of things I would want to see in GTA 6, or hope to see in GTA 6, and starting of course with enterable buildings. Now while GTA 5 did have enterable buildings, with GTA 6 there will be a lot more enterable buildings. Now depending on which leaks you believe, the Aaron Garbett leaks back in December 2023 said there would be around 70% of the buildings in GTA 6 would be enterable. And just recently GameRoll had a source he spoke to who knows a lot of things going on at Rockstar, which said there'd be 700 stores in the game. Majority of these would be enterable. Whether they are remains to be seen, but I reckon that leak from Aaron Garbett where there's 70% being enterable probably is about right, which means there's going to be a lot more exploring to do in the story mode, but also in free roam as well, which I personally can't wait for, because I think that was one of the few things that was lacking in GTA 5, having more buildings that were enterable. Like we see in GTA 4, stuff like Burger King was enterable, whereas in GTA 5 fast food chains for some reason were just not enterable. So I think that'll be one of the main things that comes into GTA 6, and I personally can't wait to see and explore what GTA 6's city has to offer. Second on my list is new sports and side activities. Now while GTA 5 did have some interesting sports like golf and tennis, they were missing one very big sport in basketball. Now basketball was in previous GTA games, but for some reason was left out of GTA 5. I personally would love to see it back in GTA 6. I would also like to see baseball. It's one of the sort of more well-known American sports, and I think it might be in GTA 6. Whether we get it, not really sure, but I hope it's there. Also ice hockey, not sure I've seen it in previous GTA games as well, but given again it's another staple of American sports, wouldn't mind seeing that there as well. So I think Rockstar will put a lot of effort into side activities as well. Now we saw in GTA 5 there was stuff like darts and obviously stuff like flight school and the shooting range, which was quite interesting as well. You could do that to sort of improve your character's stats. And there was also stuff like stunt jumps and under the bridge, which if you know about them, they were quite difficult, specifically those knife flights, which were really hard to do, but we all did them to get the achievements for them. I think with GTA 6, I think bowling will return as a side activity. It was removed in GTA 5. Not sure why Rockstar got rid of stuff like bowling and basketball in GTA 5. I think for GTA 6, bowling will be coming back. I also think the casino might play a bigger role. I think there will be some form of casino in GTA 6. I think then you'll be able to sort of do things you would do in a casino, like gamble, play blackjack, roulette. I also think, you know, there will probably be flight school, whether they bring back flight school or not. But I think given the amount of flying that was in GTA 5, I expect a similar amount in GTA 6. The shooting range will come back as well. They'll probably be in certain ammunition stores. In terms of what other activities that sort of get put in remains to be seen. The thing I would like to see, hopefully, in GTA 6 is improved vehicle customization. Now, while I think the vehicle customization in GTA 5 was very good, you could do a lot with it at Los Santos Customs, I just wish you had more sort of choice around customizing your vehicles, because after a point in time you just got the same amount of bumper bars, the same amount of wheels, the same amount of hoods, the same amount of license plates. You know, I just wish we had more select choices in customizing our vehicle. I wish we could also change, you know, how the engine type sounded, not just how fast we could make it. I think, you know, just a little more detailing around the vehicle customization would have been really cool. I think we will see that in GTA 6. I think definitely the graphics for the cars will be a lot better, but I want to sort of see, like, if a car is similar to a real world variant, I would like to sort of have the engine sounds to match it as well. Like if there's a Subaru WRX, but obviously they can't name it a Subaru WRX, but say there is in GTA 6, I would love it if it had its matching engine qualities as well. Imagine if the Subaru WRX had a rally component. Can you imagine if it had the corresponding features such as its tires and engine for a rally stage in GTA 6? Now I know that sounds as far-fetched as anything, but imagine if Rockstar did that. How cool would that be? You know, getting the suspension to sound good, the gear shifts to sound good as it's changing in between gears, and just making that overall vehicle customization a lot more streamlined would be really cool. Because, you know, being a car lover at heart, I do love seeing fast cars going through GTA. And the other thing that I would like to see is improved and interactive NPCs. Now we all know NPCs, specifically when driving, are absolutely useless, right? You'll be driving in a straight straight line doing a time trial or whatever, and an NPC will come out of nowhere, run you off your bike or crash into your car, and you lose valuable seconds of time when you're doing a time trial. I think in GTA 6, the NPCs should have a lot more smarts about them to get out of the way, or just to act a bit more normally when they're driving, because at random points when you're doing in GTA Story or GTA Online or whatever it may be, the NPCs will just come across and cut your lane off for no reason whatsoever. It's really, really frustrating. Moving on to the actual NPCs characters that aren't in cars, I think we'll see them a lot more street smarter this time around. Like, for example, if they witness a crime that Jason and Lucia do, they'll probably be onto the phone to the police straight away, and that will then give you the option to either take them out or try and stop them from alerting the police or something to that effect. I also think the NPCs will have a way where they don't act as stupid as they did in GTA 5. I think they'll be a lot more smarter and a bit more street smart in that regard, where they'll just be like, having a chill conversation. They act a lot more casual, whereas I think in GTA 5, they're very stagnant and clearly following a code that Rockstar had coded into the game. Whereas I think in GTA 6, I think Rockstar would have gone that extra mile and that extra detail by actually going out to the streets of Florida and mimicking how civilians and pedestrians act on the street. So you could see a whole range of pedestrians acting a different variety of ways. And we've already seen this in the trailer. We've got people twerking on the top of cars in the trailer. We see her waving her hands back in the car in the first trailer of GTA. We've also got those two ladies watching Jason bench press as well on the beach in trailer 2. So I definitely think we'll see a lot more of these interactive NPCs in GTA 6, which I can't wait to see. To close out my point, and the last thing I would love to see in GTA 6 is an improved police system and AI. Now, me personally, I think the cops in GTA 5 are not that great at all. Even when you get to 5-star wanted level, they're just brain dead and completely have no idea. The only thing that annoys me a little bit, and the thing that they probably got right, is how long the wanted level lasts for. I think that was a good amount of time. With GTA 6 coming around, they definitely have to up their game from GTA 5, and that's a good thing because they're bringing back the 6-star wanted level. God knows why they got rid of that, probably for GTA 5 being 5th game, 5-star wanted level, 5 stars, that sort of thing. But with GTA 6, 6-star wanted level has to come back, of course. But I think I would love to see the police system in GTA 6 be very similar to that of Need for Speed Most Wanted, which came out 20 years ago. And by next year, it'll be 21 years. But the police system in that game was so damn good, like so good to the fact where the police are actually calling out the suspect, the color of the car, the make and model of the car as well.
Dispatch, X-ray 11. Dispatch, maybe a wide vehicle or pulling over. Stand by now. Suspect's driving a blue Supra. Speeds are way over posted limits and climbing.
And relaying that information to the police from an NPC perspective. And then you get the police on your backside, and it had 5 levels of police. So you'd start off with the local cops, which had a very basic cruiser. By the time you got to level 3, it was like a state cruiser, which was a bit of an advanced model than the local cruiser. And then by the time you got to the 5th level, you were dealing with very fast Corvettes chasing you in Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now, I don't think we'll get that same level of detail, but I'd love to see something very, very close to it, where you get different levels of cops depending on where, well, not so much where you are, but depending on your heat level. So say if it's a 3-star wanted level, you get the 3-star wanted level of cops. Or if it's a 6-star wanted level, you might get the military on you in GTA 6. But I would love to see those accurate police call outs as well. Specifically, if you got the 6-star wanted level, I'd love to see the police talking with the military, trying to bring down, your character or your player or Jason and Lucia. I think in the story mode, we will see this firsthand really, really well. I think there'll be, some high-level detective chases as well, different voices over radio, not just your regular police trooper, but I'd love to see that. I remember in Need for Speed Most Wanted, they'd bring in the heavy SUVs. Now, these things would target you and ram you straight up first time, and that was really annoying, especially if you got put in a corner and then busted. But I think for GTA 6, Rockstar need to go all out on their police, because given how big this story is and what potential things you could do in free roam, we need to have the corresponding police for it as well. But having that extra level of detail, that extra level of realism is going to be really, really good for all us fans who are playing it as well. And just having those call outs of the police will take me probably back to Need for Speed Most Wanted, because those call outs were insane. But that has been the end of my section, guys. Back to Project Vice to close this one out.
But that was it, guys. Those are the 10 things we hope to see in relation to Grand Theft Auto 6's gameplay. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did making it.